Hello people of YouTube, my name is JD Shadow and I am going to be telling you a little bit about the beta weekend of GW2 Heart of Thorns. Well, the beta weekend if you got the pre-purchase edition of Heart of Thorns, which is still about like $50. We're not going to get into that because we will be here for the next hour if we delve into my thoughts about that. It is both on the fence and a little bit understanding of why they did what they did, but you know, okay. We won't go more into that. Anyway, one of the benefits of getting the pre-purchase is full access to any beta weekends, and this is one of them. So, I am rotating right now. I'm going to make him dizzy. It would be very helpful if... Whoa, dizzy. Okay, so, get to play the Revenant for a weekend in any of the current zones. We do not have access to the new zones as of yet. So, I played a little bit of the Revenant. I'm proud to give you some of my first impressions about it, more along the lines of mechanics of how it's being used. Now, most of the people who you have been known to watch sort of like Ings and Duck Game and or Peachy will tell you a lot about the lore and about the basic mechanics of the Revenant. I want to go into a little bit more detail about how this is everything like that's going to work. They've done an excellent job of displaying the Revenant in of itself up to this point, but I want to give you my first real play impressions about it. Now, I played about like 30 minutes into this, and I created this guy, Cassius Summers. If no one has any idea why I picked that name, it's because he was the first name of an original character I made in a Sailor Moon fanfiction. So, yeah, I'm original. So, but we're going to actually delete this character, and the reason why is that I want to show you the selection screen, the character creation screen of the Revenant. So we're going to go ahead and delete... Oh. We're going to hit delete here. Now we're going to take care of that. Now, this beta is only for the Revenant, and he gets his own map. So we're going to go ahead and click that. Oh, crap. Okay, create beta. Try that again. Beta. Now, one thing I thought was a little disappointing, but beta is only beta, is the fact that right now you can only pick a human, male or female. You can't pick any other classes. I would have liked to see how a Char would deal with a Revenant or a Norn or whatever. But as no doubt you know by now, beta is beta. They might not have that ready yet, and this and that. And also be advised that because beta is beta, this is not going to be a full representation of how this character class is going to look in the final game, how it's going to be like. So we're going to pick the human because that's the only thing we have. Now, we picked a male last time. We're going to pick a female for this one, quite frankly, because why not? Okay, so when you pick the beta class, the only thing you have to pick from is a Revenant. They won't let you pick any other classes, so we're going to go ahead and pick OK. We're not going to go too far into how we're going to design her. You probably know by now that GW2 has one of the more in-depth character creation screens I've seen. We're going to not make her paisley white because why? Okay. That's Beyonce right there. So anyway, yeah. I probably funded 3/4 of my subscriber base. Thank you very much. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna go hairstyle. Holy crap! Yeah, I don't think they've added any other. Ooh, that's nice. They added any hairstyles lately. We are going to go with this one because why not? And let's see, accessory colors. I'm not quite sure what the accessory color is gonna change. Oh, okay. If you have if you have a hairband, something like that. Okay, or you have a tiara or whatever. What the hell is that thing? Courtney Love. Hello. Okay, so we can go with what we have so far. So let's just go brown for right now. Armor dies. She actually looks kind of cool looking, badass, sexy, all that other fun stuff. And she's got claws on her boobs. Just so, just in case I want to offend the rest of my subscriber base, there you go. Anyway, colors are... we're not going to delve too much into this. And I don't want to show you the actual game, but we're going to make it purple. Because, yeah, why not, you know? Purple. Boots. Let's have purple boots, because why not? We're not going to get too much into this. Now, for this particular... I forgot what I was going to say here. For this particular beta, you can only get this far to Miss Grimm. That's what we talked last time. What we picked on my first one. Fight with my blindfold on to shut out the distractions of the physical world and focus on magical inner sight. This is what Gridlock has when he comes out of the mist, basically. So, we're going to go with Revenant Curtain. I'm sure somebody's saying, this is how you pronounce it. This is how you pronounce it. Anyway, the blah curtain, we could call it that, is for reverends who choose to make a more elegant and stylish impression. Because even if they can't see the world around them, they can still see them. Because, well, they're not blind like they are. Okay, so here's what I mean. As soon as you hit this, it usually puts you to the next part of the personal story. They don't have that ready yet. So... go right to the last one, because you get put right in Lion's Arch. So, Cormier, whatever. God is the truth, blessed me when I was young. And you can probably read the rest of it. Okay, let's see here. What do I want to name this woman here? Let's piss off whatever is left of my subscriber base and go with that. Because why not? Okay, so as you can see here, progress and rewards earned by beta characters are not going to be saved because right in the moment, the human is all you have right now. You might want to have a different class, or a different race rather. Did I say class when I was talking about the char or whatever? I might have said that. I meant to say class, but whatever. Now, one of the problems I'm seeing right now, and this is not just with the Heart of Thorns beta, this is just about with every Guild Wars 2 zone right now, is that it's loading an awful long time. I'm not quite sure if it's just my computer right now, or if it's something that has to do with the game itself. It's taking a little bit of time to load. They've been updating it quite regularly, but I'm not sure if they understand that this is taking a long time to load. And again, I'm not sure if it's just me or the game, but if it's the game, then that's something that has to be addressed, because it's taking about 30 seconds in order to load a map. So yeah, that has to be addressed. Now, what's going to happen here is at any point now, I'm going to be able to load it to Lion's Arch, and you're going to see that with every new character that gets put into Lion's Arch that has not been there yet in your account, you're going to see the movie that plays. And I actually have the sound up this time, so you're going to have a chance to actually see it if you haven't seen it yet. And probably by now, if you've seen Guild Wars 2, if you've been in the game lately, you'll probably know what it looks like. But yeah, you can get to see it again. And I think that's why it's taken a long time in order to load, is because it's loaded this movie. You look at that. Ooh. I gotta talk about that puzzle, that jumping puzzle. What I like, what I dislike about it. Doesn't mean that that looked like a giant hand at first. When the first time you looked at it, it did not look like a giant hand. And then you see it's a squid. Apparently, the internet's been playing too much Splatoon, and they're squids, not kids. And they have giant, big, freaking cannons, because why not? You know? Because they got leveled once, and they're not going to get leveled again. Okay, so you saw that. So what exactly is Revenant have to do with anything? Well, first of all, you get Lion's Arch map completion. All the maps are, for the beta, revealed to you. There is Lion's Arch there, and I was surprised to see this. Dry Top I had yet to go into. Whatever. So anyway, now that I've done getting interrupted, I hadn't got the Uplands Oasis there yet. Uplands Oasis discovered yet on my main tunes, so that was a little bit surprising to see that happens. But we're gonna go into this now. I'm not gonna actually unpack these, and there's a good reason why. Is because you see these beta gear loot box, all of these you can actually open. They'll give you a bunch of beta gear in order to use, in order to try out. Most of these though are not going to be used with your profession, which is right now the Revenant, but they give you a crap ton of this. Too much for me to actually put into these leather bags here. Yeah, I'm going to be encumbered way before I'm able to unpack all of these. So I'm not actually going to unpack all of them. What I am going to do is going to get enough so I can see, so I can find the weapon I want, which is a spear. No quarterstaff, and I'm going to go with the berserker one here. Okay, there you go. I'm going to do enough to give me that. There you go. Okay. So, right now, there's not really that much of an importance as to what I'm going to pick. I mean, right now, I'm just trying out how the Revenant's actually going to work in terms of mechanics and stuff like that. And, oh, it is kind of clunky for me. You might have some more enjoyment than I did when you play as a Revenant or any other class, but for me, it is just way too cumbersome for me to actually enjoy playing with a hammer. So, I went with a spear for this. Now, you may be wondering about the hotbar. You may be wondering everything there is to know about the hotbar. Well, here's one of the major problems I do have. You see this meter here I'm pointing at right now? I hope you see the cursor. I don't know if I set up my dexterity in order for you to see the cursor. However, you do see a legendary demon stance. This is your stance right here. They only have 3 right now. This is the dwarf stance. I'm going to show you all you have to see here. And the demon stance, what I use most often right now. And then you have the centaur stance. So, you pick your stance. You only have 2 up at any one time. You can't change them while you're in combat. Now, you can switch between the 2 you have equipped with the F1. That's your F1 ability. Say I click F1. That wasn't the right thing. Okay. On F1, I changed to the demon stance, and my utility skills have changed. You heard a big freaking demon just talk to you right in your ear, like you're telepathic. So they don't change these. They don't change your weapons skills or anything. Those stay the same regardless of what stance you pick. The utility skills, the healing skills, and the elite skills are the ones that are going to change based upon what stance you take. And in case you're wondering, King Jealous Ironhammer is your dwarf stance, Malik's Unyielding is your demon stance, and your centaur stance is going to be Ventari. Now, I am not familiar with the Guild Wars lore, so I do not know much about what these particular legendary ghosts have to do with the Guild Wars lore, so please bear that in mind. As I delve more into it, I could probably tell you more about what exactly they have in the universe of Guild Wars 2, but right now, it's something that I'm not too familiar with, so we're going to just tell you what each of them actually do. So, the demon has basically resistance here, pain absorption, conditions currently on you are ineffective stacks duration, has all these things that basically clear conditions and give conditions to other enemies or other players. I do have a feeling this would be more used in PvP. I'm more used to WoW, in which anything that has any kind of debuffs or anything that is heavy on debuffs, are going to be more of a PvP style play than anything else, but you could probably use these in PvE style plays as well. Now, I'm just running around here so I could show you just what exactly. I don't know why I'm running around here. I'm just gonna have to go kill some things. I did complete this particular quest first. I'm gonna show you just what exactly everything does. And I can also switch on the fly to any other stance. Well, in a stance I have equipped. Now, I'm not quite sure right now if they're going to let you do 3 stances. From what I'm seeing right now, that's not going to be the case. And somebody's actually saying you don't have any skills underwater as a Revenant. You... Okay, apparently he's trolling them. Alright. So anyway. You might notice that the meter down below is filling up as I hit 1 all the damn time. That is your resource for this particular class, and it took me a little bit in order to figure out what it actually was. I had to actually ask the map chat when I got to Civil Waste what exactly it was, and then someone said it was a resource meter. The reason why I was kind of puzzled about what that was is that there really was no indication of what it was supposed to do, because you have this meter that says 100%. Oh, excuse me, I had that in there for quite some time. And you have these sort of things that look like those road construction signs that tell you have to go this way because the lane that you're trying to go to is under construction. You have to go a detour or whatever. And because of that, you wonder, what does this do? And then what does this do? What does that mean? What does this mean? Well, you cannot go below 50%. And you build resource by using your ability skill that's on the 1 key here. Like if I press 1 all the time, what's going to happen is you're going to see that the meter goes up. And the arrows here indicate how fast it's actually going up. Like for instance, now I'm not doing anything, so it's going to go quickly down to 50 and won't drop below that unless I actually use a skill. That way you actually have the ability to do something if something gets in your way they're not going to be ready for. So, but if I do this, follow the gray brick road, because we don't have enough colors for yellow. Okay, yeah they do. So anyway, you see that it is below 50, but it will go up to 50, then it'll stay there unless I actually perform an action. Every other action you take is going to take up. Is going to. I have no idea why I'm. The Squirtle Grub. It's going to use up my resource. Any of these is going to use up my resources. However, the weapon skills are not going to use up as much resources as the utility skills will use up. Just so you know. And if you go below a certain threshold, then you will not be able to use that particular skill. It's like your mana, basically. It works sort of like the Thief, but it works slightly differently than the Thief does. Oh, I'm sorry, I have a little frog in my throat today. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So, why do I not like this right now? What is my main complaint about it right now? Well, if you notice, when I'm hovering over it, there is no tooltip. Everything else has a tooltip. This does not, and I probably should have known that it had something to do with mana or resource or whatever. However, I shouldn't have to ask map chat to tell me what that is. Oh, how it's supposed to work. Because if I go also into my hero panel, if I go into build, it doesn't tell me that either here. So somewhere in the panels, it should be able to tell you what exactly that does and how exactly it's supposed to work. You shouldn't have to go. It should tell you that in game, basically. It should not have to make you have to guess what that means. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're a Guild Wars 2 expert, you probably know by now that has to do with some sort of resource but there's also no indication how it's actually going to be working. For any new players coming into the game, you're going to have to either ask about what exactly that's for, or have to guess, or just learn as you go along. Now, with me, I'm more of a hands-on learner. As I go about playing the game, I understand what things do, and I'm become more adept, and that's just how I'm learning. But not everybody learns that way. So I would think maybe a tooltip to give you the basics of how that's supposed to work would be more useful than just having to guess on it. Now, what exactly does everything do? So, I'm going to get into where I can safely show off what exactly everything does, and then do just that. Now, I'm going to show you the dwarf stuff first as I get up here. I have no idea why I decided I was going to climb that, but so here we go. Each legendary stance has its own utility bar. Now, and you can actually change these right now, but right now they only have 3 utility skills, and it's probably just the it only has 1 healing, 1 elite skill. I'm not sure if they're going to add any more before the game launches, whatever that would be, but let's go through them. Healing skill for the dwarf is Soothing Stone. Heal yourself and remove conditions. Gain retaliation for each condition remove. Retaliation is going to reflect incoming damage back to its source. So if you are in the middle of healing and something tries to attack you, it's going to get the same damage in return. I don't know if you take the damage as well, but I have a feeling that that's the way it's going to work. For every moment you get damage while healing, it's going to get the same amount of HP and damage. Okay, so Inspiring Reinforcement, Legendary Dwarf, the Great Stone Road. That's what you saw here, the Great Road here. Now, whatever's in that path is going to get damaged by a good margin. But not only that, you look on the tooltip, any friendliest that's going to be in that path is going to also grant stability, which basically means they're not going to be able to get moved outside of free will. So that means they won't be able to knock down, pull back, or whatever, for as long as you get that boon or that buff, whatever you want to call it. So that's a pretty good ability to have if you are in a party. Maybe you want to use that in the dungeon or what have you. Okay, Force Engagement. Launch a chain at your target. When the chain connects with a foe, it slows and taunts them. Basically, it directs them to you. So let's go and find a monster. We're gonna go ahead and use this. If I can find one here. Maybe there's a wasp here. Okay, there's a wasp. Now, let me see if I can find the gate. There we go. Ooh, wow. A great deal. Holy crap. Well, it doesn't really do anything else other than give you... Yeah, this is going to be more used for a dungeon, I would suspect. Like if you're in Crucibles of Eternity or something like that, and something's about to die, you could use that as sort of a tankish skill. There's no real tanks in the game, but if you have good durability, then you could probably use that as a way to at least get a mob off of somebody while they could do whatever they can in order to get back into the fight. So that was pretty cool. Now, Vengeful Hammers. What's wrong here? Okay, enemy target to use. Okay, so what this does, and I've seen this being done, I've actually used this, is to circle. If I can find a monster, I can show you how this works. It gives you... Please start using... Okay. No. That's not what I do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, what this does, it gives you that. 2 ghost dwarves that are going to circle you, and it's like a shield. If you ever played a Mega Man game, you'll know that there's something called a wood shield in Mega Man 2. You get like skull shield or junk shield in Mega Man 7. The skull barrier in Mega Man 4 is that you have something like this in which anything that's within the path of these things are going to be damaged, and that's pretty cool. I do like that. Okay, now the last one, Rise Right at the Great Dwarf. Channel the power of Right at the Great Dwarf to turn yourself into nearby allies to discern and reduce incoming damage. So if you are basically close to death, what you can do is to press this, and you will be, I would believe, immune to damage for a little bit, or at least reduce it by a great deal. So again, this could be more in a dungeon or whatever. I mean, you could change, you can probably think it might be used in like normal everyday combat in the map or something like this or whatever, but I would assume that you would use this mostly in a dungeon with in a group or whatever. So let's go next to the Demon Stance here. Legendary Demon Stance. Okay. The Empowering Misery. Well, actually, no, let's not do that. Let's go to the Centaur Stance. This has a weird mechanic. It has to do with tablets. Now, until you summon a tablet, you can't use any of these other skills. It will not let you. But the second you summon a tablet, which is that thing, then you get to use these. Protective Solos summon a protective barrier around the tablet that destroys enemy projectiles. Now, I don't know what that... Not enough fresh skill. Okay, I can't use it because I don't have the profession-specific energy. Whatever that is, that's... I don't know if they know what to call it yet. Mist power, I do believe that probably would call it at some point. Probably mist energy, but right now I don't think they have a name for it yet. I don't think I have a name for whatever the resource is. So... So that's what that does. Duration 20 seconds, and if someone who's attacking you is trying to destroy you with bows, like arrows and something like that, that could probably dissipate them. But I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. Now, if you notice, okay, that is also going to heal it. Okay, so cool. So it also heals any allies that's within its radius, which is 120 yards. That's what I'm believing it's 120 yards. Range is 900. So let's go to Natural Harmony. Collect energy, pulling it into the tablet below the power. Short delayed energy will be released, healing nearby allies. So if you want greater heal, then you'll use that. The 8 skill. 9 skill, Purifying Essence. And you notice right now there is no boon. There's no debuff clear right now. There's no condition clear. So Purifying Essence, let's talk about this. Remove conditions from allies. Oh, here we go. I was sadly mistaken. Purified Essence. Remove conditions from allies near the tablet and heal them from a small amount per condition removed. So I think this might be effective if you're into a fight against a monster that gives you a lot of conditions, or you're against another player that is like a thief that can stack conditions. You'll probably be using this a lot. But I'm not sure if it's for yourself or just for allies or both. That doesn't make it clear. So number of targets 5. Okay, if you that might be used in dungeons as well. But I'm not quite sure if it would be used in solo combat. That's the only thing that I would say is that this would be more likely to be used only for groups, not really for solo, because you could probably clear conditions other ways. So I'm not sure about how useful that would be in a solo situation. Now, Energy Expulsion. This is the elite skill. Force energy to erupt from the tablet, knocking back nearby foes and leaving behind energy fragments that heal allies. This is, wow. You know what? The more I see this is more like if you're more charged with healing people than you are with anything else. If you like healing allies, this is probably going to be the legendary that's going to fit you the most. with this tablet. But you need to have the tablet out in order to do absolutely anything. And doesn't look like it's going to be used for anything else. But you can probably use it in a dire situation. You can switch to the Centaur stance, and then use one of these in order to heal your party, and then go back to one of the other legendaries. But other than that, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be used for actual combat, unless you want to use, you know what, maybe it might be used for solo combat, unless you're talking about the number 9 utility cell, the Purified Essence. Other than that, I could see you using this for a solo situation, because you can use this to heal yourself and make you sort of like unkillable, mostly. Unless, of course, it's not there to heal yourself, then you'll probably be in a little bit of trouble. Actually, let's go see what happens. Oh, and it's... Oh, you know what? Okay, and you have to use... That's the main problem with it. I see now, because you have to use this. It's not going to be... You know what? I'm going to just stop here and escape, because I don't want to actually attack. Oh boy, it's not even... It's actually missing me. This is actually not going to be quite the best map to use this. I actually went to the Silver Waste for an actual challenge. So there you go. By the way, you start at level 80 as a Revenant. You don't get to level. So there's that taken out of it for right now. But let's go into the final one. Let's go into the Legendary Demon Stance. I will show you what's going on with that. Empowering Misery. Heal yourself, heal more for each condition currently applied to you. So if you have a bunch of conditions on there, and if that's the case, that you probably are going to be dead, then you're going to be wanting this. However, the problem is you look at the condition it gives you. Self-weakness. 4 seconds. Minus 50% endurance regeneration. 50% fumble unrestricted. I'm not sure what fumble means, but some people might have more, might be able to tell you what fumble means. Hopefully I can tell you an annotation, because right at the moment my mind is drawing a blank. Like I said, I'm not the best Guild Wars 2 expert right at the moment, but I'm going to try the best that I possibly can. Okay, Pain Absorption. Legendary Demon grants resistance to yourself and nearby allies. Absorbs conditions from those allies, gaining additional resistance per condition. If you, again, are going against something that just continues to stack conditions on you, you're going to be wanting that. Wanting that? What the hell does that mean? Wanting this. Conditions transferred is, I guess, is 1. Okay, resistance, you get self-resistance per condition. I believe that does stack. Number of targets, you do get self-blind, which basically means you're basically going to miss the next stack you have. And 8 seconds duration on that. Now, next one. Banish Enchantment. Deals damage to your foe, removes boons from, and applies confusion to that foe. Applies bonus confusion if you have equal or more conditions to the threshold applied to you. Okay, so you can see all that stuff that is going to be doing. Self-vulnerability, 3% incoming damage, it increases it, and I'm getting attacked here by a disgruntled grub. Apparently someone decided they wanted to try this quest. I'm going to get out of the way of him and show you the rest of it. Boom. Okay, so self-vulnerability, 33% incoming condition damage. So if you're facing that person who has condition damage and you're trying to use this, so you may want to be careful. That is the downside to it. And you can see this demon works like a warlock in WoW. Every single one of these, it has a downside to it. So here you go. Online Yielding Anguish. This is the last one of the utility skills. Leap toward the target area, tormenting foes and creating a demonic field that displaces enemies. Apply bonus torment if you have equal or more conditions to the threshold applied to you. So, if you already have conditions applied you switch to demon stance, they may want to watch out, because this is going to be the defense to it. Everyone has some sort of defense conditions I'm seeing, but most of the conditions, if you definitely switch to demon stance, this is going to be a problem for them. However, there's a downside. There's a downside to this too. Watch what happens when I use this. This is not a bug. There is something called self-cripple. If you're looking to use this as a way to transport yourself and make it faster for you to travel, it is not going to be working, because first of all, you have that to stop you from using that as a fast travel, which you probably don't need to do anyway, or to get away from the mob. That's not going to really want to work. Now, if you're going toward a monster that you're willing to kill, that might be pretty good. Or you're intending to kill. Okay, but this is an awesome way in order to get rid of any conditions or to nullify any of these. So, the last one we're going to talk about is probably my most favorite here. Embrace the Darkness. Summon the power of a legendary demon to transform into a powerful avatar. Increase all attributes and copy conditions to nearby foes every few seconds. Self-torment, 25%. Units, 29 damage if moving. It also has a downside. All of these are sacrificing your health and well-being in order to damage a foe. Sort of like what WoW does with Warlock, with a life tap and stuff like that. So, let's try this in action against, well, not Foulfly. You know what, let's go to the Silver Waste, because the other thing we're going to show you is this in action against something that's going to give us an actual challenge. So, we're going to go into the Silver Waste, and it's going to take us a long time in order to load this up. Okay, so I'm now in the Silver Waste, and I'm not exactly going to show you the cinematic for the Silver Waste, because quite frankly, you probably have seen that a million times by now, so I'm not really going to go there. So anyway, I'm face out these dust mites, which are annoying as hell. And I'm just using the #1 weapon skill, because why not? So, these are in real world environments. These are in a real world situation. I'm going to show you what Embrace the Darkness is right here. This is what happens. You actually turn into a demon, and it is absolutely amazing. So, I'm going to say right now that if I go to roll a Revenant, which I'm pretty sure everybody's going to want to do when the expansion launches, they're going to try a Revenant. I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do is to go with a pole arm here, because it's a lot more fluid than the hammer is going to be. I do enjoy using the pole arm a hell of a lot better now. You can probably use a hammer if you want, but it's a personal preference to me that I like to have my battles be fast, and or have my weapon skills be more of a quickness to them than just like hard hitting and slow. So I do like the poleaxe. I want to say poleaxe. That'd be a great weapon for Guild Wars 2, a poleaxe. But the polearm to be used a lot better. I just like it. But you can actually use what you want there. I think you can use a bow as well. Maybe we can see what the bow has in store here. Let's see if I can use a bow. No, I can't. The rods you can't use. The crusher. This is broadsword. Oh, you can't use the great sword, right? Well, you can't use most of these. Wow, I did not think that you're not going to be able to use many weapons. I'm pretty sure you're going to have more weapon skills than that. Also, when you change stances, it doesn't change what types of weapons you're allowed to equip. That is set for you regardless of the type of stance you take. So, my thoughts about the utility skills right now, pretty good. I could see what situations you probably could be using those things in. I think the Centaur stance is going to be more for those who want to protect, while Demons is going to be used kind of in PvP, maybe? Although, I could probably see it more used... Yeah, I'm probably seeing it more used like a Warlock would in WoW. Do high damage. This Dwarf stance looks more like it's going to be used for dungeons, for organized parties and stuff like that. I could see the use. I could see use of any of these for solo, but anything can be used for solo combat. But I could see this be used a lot in a dungeon, in a 5-man dungeon, or probably in a organized party setting. More than any other legendary stance, I would take it. I'm thinking about where you would actually use these stances the most. Now, if you want to know what is in the builds, you have let me try that again. Right now, there are 4 specializations you can choose from. This one, oh crap. Okay, corruption. Let's take a look at these right now. Rampant Vex is critical hits have a chance to cause torment, which is 113 damage, 225 damage if moving. I'll try to get to where I'm not going to be attacked right now. Replenishing Despair. Then you have that's for the core specialization. The first one you have to pick that to get to these 3. Demonic Defiance. You have a choice of Demonic Defiance using a legendary demon skill. Grants resistance for a short duration. If you've seen you using demonic stance a lot, you're going to be wanting to pick this one. Oh crap! Oh, okay. I thought I was going to attack there. That's why I got out of there. Okay. Venom Enchantment Poison lasts longer. If you have something that does inflict poison, you're going to want to pick that. Replenishing Despair. Incoming conditions provide you a small amount of healing. More along the lines of stops a thief, perhaps. It makes a thief take twice for putting conditions on you. Okay. The next one down, opportunity, the one you have to pick, Opportunity Extraction. Striking the foe grants you a chance to remove a boon from that foe. That's basically a buff removal. If there's something that that's more condition based. That's more of a situational base for me, I do believe. But it gives you the chance to pick from this. Bolster Anguish. Increase damage for every condition currently on you. Again, a lot of these things right now have a lot to do with removing conditions or reversing what conditions will actually do. Conditions will actually make you stronger. Most of these are going to be used, like, say, if you are facing a monster that has a whole lot of conditions that it can put on you, which I would suspect a lot of monsters will be able to. Frigid Precision, chance to chill your foe when you land a critical hit. First time that you can actually inflict a condition. And everybody knows what chilled actually does. Last one, Spontaneous Destruction. Use Banish Enchantment when striking a foe that has boons equal to or greater than the threshold, which is 2 boons right there. So, you know, warrior that's stacking might and a lot of those other boons, you can actually stop a warrior at this point, I would suspect. I'm gonna actually pick Bolster Anguish. Increase damage after condition current. Well, actually, I'm gonna pick Chilled here. And then the wired one is Torment lasts longer, which basically, this basically means you're actually going to wreck people with it, with Torment. Now, last one. Either get Diabolic Inferno, burn nearby foes when using an elite skill, which basically means if I'm a dwarf and I'm using Right of the Great Dwarf, then anything that's not only am I going to take decreased damage, but I'm going to inflict burn on them, which is kind of cool. Again, if you're in a dungeon, you probably want this. Maniacal Persistence. Increase your critical hit chance Every few seconds, this bonus is reset when you land a critical hit. So if you're just wanting to pound on things, I would say Dwarf Stance again would be the most effective to be using this. So, pulsating resilience. I cannot pronounce words today. So, chance when struck to copy all conditions currently on you to nearby foes for a few seconds. You see an underlining theme here. Things with conditions are going to get absolutely screwed over. So if you have, say, that on you, this, and this on the demon stance, you are probably going to be kind of invincible as far as conditions are concerned. Okay. So let's go to Retribution stance. And I'm going to move here so that way, I'm going to move a little bit, that way the idle penalty won't come to me. Which basically means it will lock me out if I'm idle for a long period of time. Okay, Retribution. Enduring recovery. Chance when struck to gain endurance. Basically, you probably, if you are a dwarf, use dwarf a lot, you're probably going to want this one. So, chance when struck to gain endurance. Trigger, chance 50, endurance gains 15. Okay, Dome on the Mist. This is one you have to pick. This is the 3 you can pick. Create an area that blocks projectiles and weakens foes. Yeah, 50. You have the weakness here, of course. Which means if you are playing Demon Light, you might not want to pick this. 50% endurance regeneration. And 50% fumble, which basically means it's going to be 100%, which basically means you are not going to get anything. You're going to get royally screwed over. You pick the demon and you use... If I can find it here. Where is that? Okay, right here. So, that empowers this, but it also makes your self-weakness very much a problem if it stacks. I'm not quite sure if it does or not. First quarters, foes that strike you from farther away than the range threshold deals less damage. So, if you are in a situation in which you are in a dungeon or you are in a PvP area in which the monsters or the players are going to hit you with guns and arrows and all of that, you could probably pick close quarters if you know that's going to happen to make sure that they don't get too far with that. Now, the last one. Improve aggression. Taunted foes deal less damage to you. Taunt has increased duration when applied to non-player characters. Which basically means this makes the dwarf stance, it makes this a lot more valuable. Because not only are you going to pull a monster towards you, but it's going, and because it taunts you, or it taunts whatever mob, it is going to weaken it as well. So that is an excellent condition I would suspect you would pick if you're going to do the dwarf stance a whole hell of a lot. That's an excellent thing to pick. So unwavering avoidance, stability after you dodge. Again, if you want to use this for the dwarf stance, you would be in a good place. I could see this being picked for someone who uses the dwarf stance a hell of a lot. So, retaliatory evasion is what I got on this right now, and I did not pick these, by the way. This was the default build I have right in the moment. And I didn't really bother to change it. Eye for an eye. Oh, by the way, retaliatory evasion, green retaliation after you dodge. Reflect incoming damage. Back to its source. So if you dodge a hell of a lot, if you know where the dodge hole is, you're gonna have a good time. Eye for an eye. When disabled by foe with stun damage, not by pull, taunt that foe for a short duration. So if you already have this, you already got this, well, you might want to pick eye for an eye. Holy crap, and I'm getting killed. Holy crap. Oh crap. Oh crap, this is a problem. Okay, you're gonna see the down skills here. Quite frankly, because I did not really see that people were gonna actually try the group event here. We should have shown you these, actually. I apologize. Actually, somebody's trying to revive me here. I did not actually mean to want to... I did not really want to participate, but... whatever. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Now I'm almost dead. I'm almost dead. Let's get out of here. This would be a good time to show off that demon stance, but I'm trying to get out of here so I can show you how it all works. And I'm still getting... Am I still getting chased? No, I'm not. Okay. Thank God. Oh my good lord. Okay. So let's continue before I got... Where was I here? Okay. Eye for an eye is, of course, disabled by foes on days with any movement. You know what? Oh, come on. Really? Okay, so... Let's pick demonic stance, and let's show something that happens when you use this. Now they get blinded. Because I was blinded, now they are too. Okay. Okay. So now that that's killed, and now this can leave us alone for a few minutes, let's go back to it. Okay. One thing I would actually say to Revenant is to... like, you can find a way in order to describe this without using so many different types. All, like, instead of saying all the different conditions that can happen, since that is a huge list, anything that any movement that's against the character's free will, like these things, then you taunt that foe for a short duration. There's got to be an easier way for you to describe them than giving you a long list. That's just a pet peeve I have. But anyway, and oh, here's another one that has this long list of things. Redeeming protection. Gain protection whenever you are disabled by any of those conditions. Even if you get taunted, apparently. But there's got to be an easy way in order for you to make that list, to combine that list as a one simple term. Okay. Determined resolution. Again, this is a tankish type of spec choice here, but this is a required one to get you over here, so good. This is actually a good one if you're going to use dwarf. This would actually make the dwarf stance a hell of a lot tankish. Most of these will. Anyway, empowering vengeance. Gain might when struck when under the effect of retaliation. Where is the retaliation? Where's the retaliation? I'm quite sure there's retaliation somewhere. Okay, here it is. Okay, but you have to use dodge and you get... And then... You dodge and you get retaliation and might. But then, yeah, there's a lot you have to get to in order to get to this point. So, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be used all that often. As it stands right now, I'm not quite sure if this is a good thing to pick. So I would skip this, actually, to tell you the honest truth, because unless you have something else that gives you retaliation, unless there's something down here we haven't seen yet that will give you retaliation, because look what you have to do in order to get retaliation in the first place here. You got to do a dodge roll, get retaliation, and while you're under retaliation, something hits you and you get might. That's a complicated way to get might that it can only be used for... that can be gained by a warrior or whatever. So, I don't know. I'm not quite sure the usefulness of this. It's really involved to get something that is going to be given to you elsewhere by other players. I'm not quite sure if that's a useful one. Okay, Destructive Hammer. Invoke the hammer to circle around you, inflicts damage and weakness on impacted targets. So, if I pick that... Okay, wait. If I pick that and I go into, say, Vengeful Hammers, Evoke Hammers, circle around you, damaging foes. Does that give me an additional hammer? Or is that the same thing as this? We might want to try this out. Let's see if I want to see. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to pick Dwarf Stance. I'm going to pick the hammer build, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. See... No. Yeah, it gives you 3 hammers. So it makes the shield even stronger. That is... If you use that a lot, then you're going to want to pick that one. I would highly recommend that one. We haven't even looked at the last one yet. Okay. That's a straight up heal, by the way. I'm not sure what the cooldown of this is, but if you're using that a lot, and I would think you would, because it's just a plain awesome ability, then I would suggest that you pick that before anything else. I mean, don't even think about it. Pick that one. Good lord. I have a feeling that's gonna get addressed. I hope it's not, because that's an awesome ability. But am I getting attacked again? I'm not quite sure. How am I? Okay, I'm out of combat now. Good. Okay. So let's continue because we're running out of time here. My hard drive is screaming at me. Why? Okay. Staff Average and Invasion. Chance when struck to heal yourself. That would make you into more of a non-destructible tank as you were before you picked this. But I would personally, I like this skill. The Vengeful Hammers, I do like it, so I would pick that. The only one I question right now is this one. I question, unless you dodge roll a lot, unless you find. I'm trying to think of where this would be useful, and even if you use dodge roll a lot, which I usually don't. I mean, so to me, maybe I'm just that bad of a player or something, but I don't really use that a lot. I mean, maybe I should, but even if I would use that often, I don't really know if that is a big way just to get might, which you can get by much easier ways. I don't know about that. Okay, let's go to Salvation. This does stack. It is unblockable too, so wow. It's on the Destructive Hammer. And it does have a 25% chance on hit, 25%. All chance on hit to spawn a Destructive Hammer. Okay. So yeah, it's a quarter of a chance. Salvation, that's the only downside there. Even with that, I would say pick it. Wow. That's an awesome ability, especially if you use it a lot. Salvation, let's go to this. Disarming repulse. I'm going to try to go through this quickly. It's going to turn into a long video here. Seriously though. Striking a foe while they are using the skill blinds them. Foe while they are using a skill. Now blindness. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, the weakness from them. Okay. I might be saying weakness applies to me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, blindness, and if I'm going to attack misses, am I okay, self-blind, okay. That's okay, so I'm explaining things right. What am I thinking? Okay. Tranquil balance while above the health threshold. healing to allies is increased. If you're using a centaur stance a lot, you're going to want to use that. Blinding Truths, blind nearby foes when you're using healing skill. And Nourishing Regeneration, allies deal Ventari's tablet. Okay, if that is no indication to you that you're probably going to want to pick this salvation trait, pick this spec, rather, for Ventari, then I don't know what to say to you. That is Ventari written all over it. Holy crap. Okay. Hardened Foundation. Gain toughness based on a percentage of your healing power. Okay, gives you access to these. Tranquil Benediction. Healing orbs you create while wielding a staff will now grant swiftness and regeneration while picked up by allies. Healing orbs? What are we, Kingdom Hearts now? I wouldn't blame you. Kingdom Hearts is an awesome game, but wow. Okay. So anyway. And looting nullification. Dodge rolling removes the condition from nearby allies. Well, if you're going to use this, if you're going to use dodge roll for this, then you might, you know what? Use that because I'm not, yeah, I'm back to this again. But if you're going to use this, and this, you might as well use this. You know, nullification, that way you get synergy here. I like this about the new specialization UIs. It gives you a way in order to get better synergy between your skill set that you actually pick. So, and you're not like searching everywhere to find what you want. Invoking Harmony. Healing done to allies and increase for a short duration after evoking a legend. That's going to be used if you switch between legends a lot. Like if you switch to Ventari, then you're probably going to want to... You're definitely going to use that. But if you're switching between legends, then you might be able to use that. If you don't use dodge roll a whole lot, I wouldn't suggest this. And I don't know where you wouldn't be using it a lot. Serene Rejuvenation increases healing to allies, which has no downside to it, and because you have to pick that one to get to either of these. Selfless Amplification increases alcohol and healing based on the percentage of healing power. This is a healing spec, definitely. Nature Abundance, create energy fragments around Ventari's tablet. That's Ventari again, all over it. If you're gonna do Ventari a lot, pick this one to this one. Quite frankly, because it's basically is telling you straight off the bat that this is cookie cutter in of itself for Ventari. You're gonna use it a lot. And here we go. Set. And the last one, Momentary Pacification. Dazes nearby foes when using an elite skill. So, wow. That's the only one I could see that doesn't have any kind of healing benefit to it. No, I mean, that's the only one I can see that does not have any bit of healing benefit to it under this salvation. Now, let's go to the last one, Invocation. We're going to go through this quickly. Replenishing Globe. The globe heals allies and is destroyed when it passes through them. You pick that one. We go to Cruel Repercussion. When one of your attacks is negated, your next attack will deal bonus damage. So, if you're going against a fast mob that's going to is dodging a hell of a lot, well, you're going to wish they didn't. They're going to wish they have a tank instead. Cleansing Channel. You evoke a legend, removes a condition. So, if you switch between legends a lot, which I could be, you're going to want to pick that one. Using your healing skill grants you Fury. So if you're using Ventari a lot, you're going to be Ventari and say the Demon Stance, I would say pick that one. That's what I would say. Let's go to the next one. What the hell? What's going on here? Oh, okay. It's telling me that I have incompleted specs. Revitalizing Breath. That's what this one takes you to. Pulls in and absorbs all active replenishing globes when you invoke a legend. The healing from the globes had increased effectiveness. Now, if you're playing with a Revenant, if you have two Revenants, you and another player, I could see where that player was using Ventari, I could see where you could use this. Otherwise, what I could see happening is that you would use Ventari, put in the healing globes, and use this, and then you would pull in the globes that is meant for your party members or whoever you got with you, your teammates. So I could see that like all being used if you have two reverence, and one of them is used in Ventari, and I don't know. I mean, that could be used to get your own teammates, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, that could be more harm than good. I don't know. Okay, equilibrium, and that's a requires thing too. You don't get your choice of that. You have to pick this one in order to get to the next three. Equilibrium. Invoking a legend triggers a burst from the mist that heals allies if your energy is below a threshold, or damages foes if your energy is above the threshold, which is 50%. So again, this is I think this is geared more toward those that actually switch between legends a lot. They don't pick one legend and stick with it. Infraring and glow, heal yourself when you use a skill that has an energy cost. Wow, you know what? That would be an awesome thing to pick. That's like, wow. Gain fury when you break out of a stun. That would be more. I don't know. Fury. It depends on if you're going against something that stuns a hell of a lot. That's more situational to me, I think. Again, I'm thinking along lines of putting WoW mentality into Guild Wars 2 here. So it's more of your preference here, what you're going against and whatever. But to me, I would pick this one. I would personally pick this one. It's a straight up line here, straight line right now. Like this, it's like screaming like a sore thumb, like pick me. Empty vessel. Invoking a legend is instantaneous and breaks stuns. Wow. That's a stun break and a half. Okay, rolling mist. Critical hit chances and increase effectiveness when you are under the effect of fury. Like if you pick this and break out a stun, and you go this. Fury again. Easier ways to get fury. So I don't know. Okay, charge mist. Gain bite when you use the skill that drops your energy below the threshold. That's an easier way to get this. I mean, if you're gonna, this becomes even less useful if you pick this, because that's an easier way to get might, is to use this. I'll pick that unless we see the last one. Shrouding Mist. While your energy is above the threshold, your outgoing healing is increased. While your energy is below the threshold, incoming damage to you is reduced, depending on how much you use your other skills. And as me with like utility skills or whatever, I would go straight line here. Definitely. Okay, last one I'm going to show you is the down skills. Now, okay, there's definitely gonna be more here. You're definitely gonna have more legendaries here. You're going to obviously have more skills here. I have a feeling you're going to be using more weapons in this. I mean, again, this is one of those things where you have to assume that this is what they have ready to try out right now. And the more developmental time they have, the more they're going to have ready for the main game. So you're going to be looking at, say, more like another spec here, and of course the elite specs are going to be here. So yeah, I would say Invocation is going to be used more if you're a stance switcher. Like if you, like say a warrior in WoW, again we're taking WoW mentality here. Like a warrior in WoW switches stance, defensive stance and berserker stance and like arm stance, whatever that other stance was, I forget now. If you're a stance switcher, then this is going to be the spec you want, basically, because it has a lot that has to do with if you switch a stance and you get a benefit, or if you use a hell of a lot of skills that takes this energy bar down, or like flux back and forth, then you're going to want to use this. Okay, Retribution, if you're using the Dwarf stance a lot, you're probably going to want to use it. If you're going to want the Ventari a lot, you're going to be picking this. Basically, the core specializations is for, basically, if you're going to use a particular stance a lot more than other stances, then you're going to switch out your different specializations depending on the situation and the party you have. That's what I'm thinking they're going for here. Now, there's obviously going to be another one right here, because most classes have 5 specializations, and this only has 4 right now, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be another one you can pick, and they're probably sure it's going to be more utility skills. So, my final thoughts about this right now is that, first of all, the armor is absolutely like awesome. I'm trying to think the adjective. Awesome's the only thing that comes to mind there. But you're gonna be, well, I have no gathering tools equipped on this tune here. But all in all, I do have a few small comments, things I think they could change. Tooltip here, so people know what the hell this is without having to guess. It's right there. They don't have to say a whole hell of a lot, just say enough so you get the general idea of what that's about. Also, the one specialization ability that I think needs to be addressed is this one, because again, it takes a lot to be able to have the capacity or to get might under that situation. It's definitely situational based, and there's a lot easier ways to get might, even if you use a hell of a lot of dodge roll. Like if you dodge roll, like if you one of those people who forget that it's there, then you're going to just like say screw this. And even if you are not one of those people, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get might from other ways, like from this. I could see people stance switching a lot as well. But I think this is going to turn out to be a pretty good class if you use it effectively. It's a lot more mechanically based than some of the other classes I've seen so far. Obviously there's going to be a lot more, I hope there's a lot more weapon choices than the polearm and the hammer, because the hammer seems a little bit clunky to me, and that's just me. I've always thought that weapons like that, even in WoW, did not really mesh well with the playstyle that I have, but your playstyle is definitely going to differ. I mean, the fact that she's blind, or yeah, she's blind, is not really, doesn't play too much to the playstyle, doesn't fit all that well with it. That's the only other thing, is that the blindness doesn't really play into any kind of playstyle, and that's, I wouldn't say is a complaint, because it moves just like any other character. It's just like a cosmetic thing than anything else. It doesn't really fit into how combat plays into the role of Revenant or whatever. It doesn't really do anything to the actual gameplay of a Revenant, which is a good thing, but at the same time, are like maybe a little bit more emphasis based upon the fact that the Revenants are going to be blindfolded to some extent. Maybe they're really not. Maybe they're like Daredevil in a way. And I'd like to see the other specializations. They would probably have room to add new legends as the game goes along as well. So, wow. Uh-oh. I'm about ready to... Oh, that's a bad idea. Okay. Not a very good idea, because oh, shit. I was going to show you this. I'm probably not going to. You probably get the idea by now. Revenant is going to be available on the Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns expansion pack, which is going to be available hopefully by the end of the year. I could imagine them doing this by the end of the year, by holiday season. I could imagine them doing that. And that was her dying. So, yeah. Apologies for the length of the video. This is going to be a long video. Yeah, it's a long video. So, apologies for the length of the video. I wanted to make sure that everything was explained in great detail about the Heart of Thorns Revenant. This is going to be available for everybody who pre-purchased Heart of Thorns Beta in any capacity. $49.99 original equivalent to pre-purchase it, or if you want to get any of the higher price editions, it has all those other additional benefits. Remember, if you also pre-purchased Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns and you purchased Guild Wars 2 before the January cutoff date, I think it's 25th, I think it is, then you will get an additional character slot as well. And if you bought Guild Wars 2 after that time and you thought that having to pay for the game twice was a bad deal, you bought it after that threshold, then as Revenant, they will see what they can do about making sure you don't get ripped off like that, because that was a pretty interesting way to go about it. I do like the way they did that. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I hope I didn't bore you a whole hell of a lot. My name is JD Shadow, and that just happened.